All right, let's get right into it. It's time for the ultimate operating system showdown for 2026. We're talking Mac versus Windows versus Linux. And this isn't just our opinion. We're digging into a really killer deep dive analysis from the folks at TekinGame. So who's going to be the champion? Well, let's find out.
You know, in 2026, the battle for your desktop is, well, it's never been more intense. Seriously. In one corner, you've got Apple's super polished macOS 16 running on their crazy fast M5 chips. Then you have Microsoft throwing punches with Windows 12, packing its new game core and all that Copilot plus AI goodness. And then you've got the wild card, right? The ever-powerful world of Linux with everything from Ubuntu to SteamOS. The competition is just fierce.
So how are we going to score this thing? Well, we've broken it down into a few key rounds. We're going to start on the gaming battlefield, then jump into the coders arena. After that, we'll tackle privacy and security, look at the true cost of ownership, and finally, we're going to crown a winner.
All right, first up, the gaming battlefield. Now, let's be real. For years, this was pretty much a one-horse race. But in 2026, the lines have been totally redrawn. Things have gotten way more interesting. Let's see how they stack up.
Okay, just take a look at the detail here. We're breaking down everything. I mean, everything. From just sheer access to the biggest AAA games to ray tracing support, how well anti-cheat works, and even who's dominating the handheld space. Now, yeah, you can see Windows still has some massive advantages, but pay close attention to that Linux column. It's surprisingly strong.
And this chart, wow, this really tells the story, doesn't it? I mean, Windows is, of course, sitting pretty at 99% compatibility. No surprise there. But look at Linux. It's at a staggering 85%. And that's almost entirely thanks to Valve's Proton, which is this amazing bit of tech that just lets Windows games run on Linux. It's a game changer. And then there's macOS, way down at 35%. Ouch.
So, at the end of the day, even with Linux making these incredible leaps, round one has to go to Windows 12. For a dedicated PC gamer, it's still the king. You just can't argue with that near-perfect game library, DirectX 12 Ultimate, and the new performance-boosting game core. It's the undisputed champ.
Okay, on to our next round, the coders arena. This is the battleground for developers, right? This is where the digital world actually gets built. And for a coder, your operating system isn't just a preference, it's your most important tool.
So this chart breaks down the whole developer experience. We're looking at things like the terminal, how well Docker runs, which, is super critical for modern coding, plus mobile development and package managers. And you can see that Mac and Linux, they have that shared Unix background, but there's one key area where Linux just pulls way ahead.
And this is it. This right here is the absolute killer feature, especially for anyone doing web or back-end development. When you code on Linux, the computer you're working on is basically identical to the servers where your app is going to run out in the real world. With a Mac or Windows, there's always this little mismatch, this tiny difference that can cause massive headaches later. Linux, it's a perfect match. And honestly, for that reason alone, Linux takes the coders arena. That perfect server parity, plus the fact that Docker just runs faster and you have all these powerful native tools, it just makes it the go-to choice for so many professional developers.
All right, round three. And this one feels more important every single year. Privacy and security. It's kind of like the hidden war for your data. The real question is, which OS actually respects you, and which one sees you as the product?
And this table, well, it lays it all bare. We're comparing how much data they're grabbing, if your disk is encrypted from the get-go, whether you're forced to create a cloud account, and, this is a big one, how transparent the actual code is. And let me tell you, the differences here are not subtle. And this right here, this gets to the absolute heart of it. Windows 12 is built from the ground up to collect tons of data on you. It's just part of the package. Linux, on the other hand, by its very design, it collects nothing. Zero. You are in 100% control. Period. So yeah, it is absolutely no surprise that Linux is the decisive winner here. It's open source, which means anyone can look at the code. There's no forced data collection, no mandatory accounts. It's just built on this core idea of user freedom and giving you control.
Okay, round four. Let's talk about the money. We're not just looking at the sticker price here. We're analyzing the true cost of ownership. What's it really going to cost you over 3 years? This is where the financial reality really hits home.
And man, this chart tells a huge story right off the bat. Want to get into the Apple ecosystem? That'll be at least $1,200 to start. Windows, more accessible, sure, maybe around $500. But Linux? It's free. As in, $0. You can slap it on almost any computer, even that old one collecting dust in your closet, and give it a brand new life. But look, that starting price is only part of the story. This table gives us the full picture. We're talking repair costs, your ability to upgrade things down the line, even what you can sell it for later. And yeah, Macs hold their value really well. But man, if something breaks or if you want to upgrade, the cost can be a major hit. And this is such a critical point. On a modern Mac, pretty much everything, the RAM, the storage, it's all soldered right onto the main board. That means whatever you buy on day one, that's what you're stuck with. Forever. With most Windows and Linux machines, you have the freedom to pop it open and upgrade things yourself, which can add years to the life of your computer. So, when it comes to the true cost of ownership, the winner is Linux. Hands down. The OS is free, it runs on just about anything, repairs are cheaper, and you can upgrade it whenever you want. Over the long haul, it is, without a doubt, the smartest and most flexible choice for your wallet.
Okay, so we've been through all the rounds. Windows grabbed a big win in gaming, but then Linux just swept the board, taking development, privacy, and cost. So now, it's time for the final verdict. Who is the undisputed OS champion of 2026?
But before we crown the overall winner, let's get practical for a second. Because the best OS really depends on what you do. And this decision matrix from TekinGame is just perfect for that. Are you a hardcore PC gamer? Just get Windows 12. Simple as that. Developing apps for iPhone? You gotta have a Mac. But for pretty much everyone else, web developers, students trying to save a buck, anyone who cares about privacy, the choice is crystal clear. It's Linux. Okay, but based on the overall points, winning the most rounds, and just offering the best all-around mix of power, freedom, and value, who takes the ultimate crown?
And the winner, for the first time ever in this showdown, is Linux. It's a huge upset. With a stunning final score of 9.1 out of 10, it's proven itself to be the most versatile, secure, and just plain sensible OS out there in 2026. TekinGame even nicknamed it the Freedom Fighter. And you know what? It has absolutely earned that title.
And if you need to boil it all down to one single thought, the TekinGame analysis ends with this perfect quote. Mac for creativity, Windows for gaming, and Linux for everything else. I mean, that just nails it, right? It perfectly captures where we are in 2026. They all have their place, but Linux, its territory is just getting bigger and bigger.
And that just leaves us with one last big question. After all these years of being the niche, nerdy alternative, is this it? Is 2026 finally the year of the Linux desktop? When you look at the data, it's really hard to argue against it. The real question is, what happens now?